The Dodge family.
Hi guys, so this is going to be my TTC story for baby number 2. For those of you who have followed our journey for a while, you know that it was a long process to get there. If you are tuning in for the first time, I'm really excited to share this story for you. Whether you're a mother who is still trying to conceive for the first time, the second time, whatever your story may be, I hope that you find what our journey was relatable, and I'm just really excited to finally share this story with you in its entirety. So I will also link our TTC story for Emma for her pregnancy in the link, the quick link, fun little box that pops up over here, or depending on where you are. I don't know. Okay, so if you're new to our channel, my name is Kimmy and I make videos about motherhood, obviously now about pregnancy, my life as a working mom, and our sweet little baby girl, Emma. I would love for you to join our journey, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you would like to follow along. So, trying to conceive baby number 2 ended up being a journey longer than I ever thought we would have ever walked. Never in my life would I have thought that this process would have been as long as it was. I'm gonna try to keep this video as brief as I can, but there's a lot to cover. So our TTC journey goes all the way back to November of 2013. Around October, November, we decided to go ahead and try for another baby. So Emma was 1 year old, almost 2. Her birthday is in February, so it was a couple months before she turned 2. And we made the decision that, you know, we were gonna go off birth control and go ahead and start trying for another baby. And I had anticipated that it would take some time, given that we took for a little over a year to get pregnant with Emma. I figured it was gonna take some time to go ahead and get pregnant, but we were gonna go ahead and start and see kind of where the journey would take us. So at that point, I went off birth control in October, and November was our first month that we started trying to conceive. This is November of 2013 again. We tried November, October, December. And then in January, I ended up, I'm trying to remember my dates. Okay, November, October, December, January. The month of February, I ended up getting pregnant. So that cycle, I think I ovulated right around Emma's birthday, and I found out early March that I was pregnant, right around the end of February, early March of 2014. So it did not take us as long as I assumed that it would with Emma, and it was a huge, huge surprise, huge blessing, and we were super, super excited. And as you guys know, I found out that I was pregnant, and then a couple days after I found out I was pregnant, I had found out on Wednesday. And then that Saturday I started having bleeding, and we lost that pregnancy. I will link that video as well for you guys, so you can go back and get the details on that. So I was discouraged, obviously, by what had happened, but I was like, well, you know, it was a really good sign that we got pregnant as quickly as we did. So we'll just keep trying again after everything kind of gets back in motion. So I lost the pregnancy in March. I want to say I didn't start another cycle again until it was probably May. And then we started trying again. So I ended up finding out I was pregnant again in September of 2014. In the very same situation, I had found out I was pregnant on a Friday, and then Sunday I started having bleeding, and then within a couple days I had fully lost that baby as well. And at that point, our doctors, my OB that I was seeing at that time, said, you know, it just happens, and sometimes it happens back to back. There wasn't anything health-wise that they were concerned with that was specifically contributing to me having a miscarriage. They just said, you know, it just kind of happens sometimes, and it happens that way. So there wasn't anything medically at that point in time that we needed to change or take care of. September 2014, that's the year of 2014, was a crazy, crazy time in my life. As you guys know, I had a lot of big, huge life events happen. My mother passed away the summer of 2013. I had a really crazy, stressful year in my life, 2014, with some family things, and then with my work, and I was working 50, 60 plus hours at that time. There was just a lot going on. And we decided that we were gonna keep trying, and we're just gonna keep going for it. So I lost the baby, or I lost that second that would have been my third pregnancy, my second miscarriage. That was September of 2014. I want to say, again, my cycles started back up around November, and then we just continued to try. Throughout all of 2015, we kept trying and nothing seemed to work. So from November to June of 2015, we were trying and nothing was happening. And as I've mentioned in, I think, some of my miscarriage videos, even maybe in my TTC #1 video, I think I mentioned it. I've always had irregular cycles. I've never had normal cycles as long as I can remember. They've always been somewhere between 30 some to 50 some days. The cycle that I actually conceived Emma on was a 56-day cycle. And that isn't abnormal for me. They've just, and as ironic as it sounds, it's classed as slightly irregular, not like, I'm trying to think of a good medical term, not as like crazy irregular, I guess I could say. That's not a medical term. But that's kind of how it was classed, it's just slightly irregular. And so in May of 2014, the end of May, I met with my OB and I talked about, you know, how we were trying, we weren't having any luck. My cycles were still irregular, and so he suggested starting me with Coleman. So I started a Coleman cycle June of 2015. This is, like I said, we're covering a lot of time here, people. June of 2015, I started my first Coleman cycle, and we started, I want to say, at like 250 milligrams of Clomid, and that did not really do much. My cycle still ended up being about 30 some days. So he had us start in July with 500 milligrams. So it was 2 pills every day. So I started Clomid. We did Clomid from June to December of 2015, no luck. Ovulated every month, but nothing seemed to happen. No pregnancy, no baby, no nothing. And at that point, it was so discouraging. We had been trying for over 2 years at that point. Going back to, again, we made the decision in 2013, November. Here we are, December 2015, still no baby, still no pregnancy, nothing to really show for any of that effort. And it was so discouraging. It was so hard to see so many people who have the, oops, I'm pregnant, or we weren't even trying, or we tried for a month and we're pregnant, yay! And here you are just continuing to fight this battle and feeling like you're never gonna end up with what your goal is. And for me, it was difficult to see Emma continue to grow older and older and older and not have a sibling yet. And of course you get the questions of, do you guys want more kids? Oh, maybe you just had one and you just decided it's more work than you want, or, you know, all those different things. And I was pretty private outside of the YouTube world, ironically, with our infertility journey. I never really talked about it much because I think people just don't understand that you can have infertility with your second child. It just seems like, well, you had one kid, so you should be able to have another one. And a lot of people struggle with secondary infertility. And I felt kind of alone. And it was so taxing on me. It was so emotionally, mentally, physically draining, spiritually draining. And December of 2014, my OB doctor had written us a recommendation to go see a fertility specialist. And at that point, my husband and I had talked about it, and, you know, he made the decision, well, he kind of just, we talked about it, and he told me that, you know what, I really think it's time to just kind of, let's table this and let's just focus on getting ourselves healthy, just mentally taking a break, not necessarily not trying, but not putting so much concerted effort into it, and just trusting the Lord that God has a plan for us and His word is true. He promises in His word to meet the desires of our heart. Having children is a part of the promise of God for you. And it was time for us to like regroup ourselves, me more than him, for sure, regroup ourselves to just kind of refocus on that. And just really put all of that in the hands of the Lord to say, you know, Lord, I really want this, but I trust you that you have a plan. You're going to work this out and you will meet the desires of our need. And it is easier said than done. I can tell you time and time again where I failed in that, where I would get so concerned with myself and with what I wanted, and feeling like I needed to do more. I needed to figure things out more. What if something's wrong? What if there's this? What if we're never gonna have another kid? Am I okay with just having one child? And it was not, my heart's desire was to always be a mother to more than one kid. And so it was quite a battle and quite a journey, but it was something that I agreed we needed to just kind of put it on the shelf and just say, Lord, we're gonna just set this aside and let you take control of our lives and let you take control of this story. And we're gonna see where this journey takes us. So we continued to try, but I just kind of set some of the stuff around, like not tracking my BBT as much and not taking OPKs every single cycle and trying so hard to time to make sure that we're doing the baby dance at this certain time and are we hitting these days and is it gonna work, is it not gonna work, and just kind of enjoying the process without being so rigorous around it. So that brings us to the cycle I conceived on. So May of this year was when we ended up conceiving. That cycle, like I said, I wasn't tracking my BBT, but I know enough now about your fertile days and fertility and ovulation to see enough of the warning signs, I guess you could say, of when you're ovulating, if you're ovulating. And so I want to say, I have this on my calendar. It was like the second Saturday in May, some 20 something. I knew that I was ovulating and I had taken an OPK test and came up positive, and so we decided to go ahead and see what would come from this. And it was really like not a whole bunch of effort. It was just kind of like a one and done, we'll see what happens. And I honestly did not think I was pregnant. If you go and look at my baby number 2 video where I took the pregnancy test, the day that I took the pregnancy test, which was June 5th, which was 15 days past ovulation, I did not think I was pregnant. You just get so used to not being pregnant. As sad as that may sound to some people, I'm just so used to the negative test. And so I didn't get my hopes up per se that something was gonna come up positive, because I just assumed it wouldn't. And I didn't really have any symptoms or any signs or anything. I just knew, hey, about 2 weeks ago, I got a positive ovulation test. So 2 weeks later, I usually have my period within a day or so, and nothing's come up. So let's take a test and see. And that's kind of what happened. And it was just the most amazing, miraculous gift. This baby still is such a beautiful gift and a beautiful blessing, and such a beautiful rainbow baby to cap the end of a very long journey and long process and lots of tears and lots of emotions. And I just feel so blessed and so fortunate. And I just want to share with anybody who's coming across this video that is in the depths of trying to conceive, and you're in that hopelessness and you feel so alone, because as public as it has become, it still is a pretty lonely journey. I just want to say that I love you and I'm praying for you, and as hard as it may seem, don't give up hope. And you know, I just pray that if you don't know the Lord, that you would seek him in your time of trial and tribulation. It is such a journey to walk, and I can't imagine not doing it without the comfort of like my Savior, who really helped walk me through this journey where I felt so alone. It is such a hard journey, and I'm gonna cry. It is such a hard journey to walk, and I feel like it's so hard to talk about, because even people who you love and people who care for you and you know deeply, deeply love and care about you, they, until you've walked that journey of losing a baby and hoping for a pregnancy and that never coming, it's something that you can't relate to. You just really can't. And I would have really well-intended, meaningful people that would say, oh, I know what you're going through, don't give up hope. And I'm like, you don't know, you have no idea what I'm going through. You've held every baby, every pregnancy that you've conceived in your womb, you've held that child. Every time that you made a decision to add a member to your family, it happened right away. So as much as you may say, I love you and I care about you and I know what you're going through, you really don't. And I would just encourage you to love people through where they are as much as you can, without saying things like, oh, I know what you're going through, because it is unlike anything that you will ever face in this life when you have a desire so strong in your heart, but you just can't make it happen in and of itself. And so I just encourage you to continue to fight that battle. And I love you, and I'm here for you if you ever want to comment or send me a message. I know what that's like. So I just want to say again, thank you guys for your love and your support for this baby. I feel so overwhelmed with thankfulness and gratefulness that you guys love and care about this little beautiful rainbow baby as much as we do. And thanks for watching. So we'll see you guys next time. Bye. How long do you think it's going to take for the baby to come?
February 12th on my birthday.
Yeah, your birthday's February 12th. The baby's due right around your birthday, huh?
Yes.
Would you be okay if you and the baby had to share a birthday?
Yes.
Would